No matter how high-tech, highfalutin, lazy, or foo-foo America gets, we will never stop hunting and fishing. This is The Hunting Quest.
The Hunting Quest.
We take 1 hour of every week and talk about our favorite things in the world, hunting and fishing. You'll get tips and help on the fishing environment locally in the DMV area. Plus, we're going to have fun along the way. This is The Hunting Quest. And now your hosts, Mike Tippin and Mark Davis.
Oh, look at there. Where goes it?
Oh, today's the 30th?
It is. Yes, it is.
I did not know today was the 30th.
Yes.
I can pay a mortgage. Okay, so today's the 30th.
You know they have this thing called, automatic deduction from your bank account.
I don't. Was that internet or something?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah. It's this new thing.
Newfangled technology.
Welcome to the internet.
So today is the 30th of September. Means tomorrow is October.
October 1st.
Shocker. Happened really fast. It's
Opening day for archery season.
on muskrat archery season, I believe, starts tomorrow, and
You're
then
terrible.
on the 3rd it is the opening for
Oh, you're killing me. Stop. Stop. They're not eating Nutris.
Nutris,
Yeah.
Nutrigen, what do they call it?
Nutra.
Those weird beaver looking things.
They're rats.
It's season for weird beaver looking things. No, what season is it? What's the opening season for?
Deer.
Deer. Oh, is it really?
Archery.
I can't keep track of anything.
For both.
Well, and then so West Virginia does weird with all the youth days. And
Yeah.
the
Virginia does
pre-days,
too.
And then the non-buck days and doe days and all that kind of stuff. Like that. So it gets a little complicated for me.
It does.
We're getting into cow season
Yes.
where they start to butcher cows at the end of the year. So that's a good time of year.
Yes.
So,
Good meat on the table.
anything interesting? Anything going on?
Yeah. So we were supposed to do this yesterday, but we're here today, and we're going to keep doing it today. Oh, and it's got to fix my camera. So I guess I'm not.
I'm just
waiting
confused
for
what we were supposed to do yesterday.
So originally we were supposed to go yesterday because I was going to be doing something else.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to be. I thought that was in the month. Okay, no. So we'll still be on Fridays. Next
Yeah.
Friday, you won't be here.
Next Friday I will not be.
Should have a special stand-in guest for a little bit. Hopefully, he used to be a weatherman. And then, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I forgot about that. That'll be happening.
Yep. And I'll tell you why I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to Missouri to go deer hunting in Missouri.
Deer hunting.
And then I'm going to go over to Kansas and spend some time in Kansas. And we'll see how that goes. And then come back. And hopefully I'll have some deer to eat out there and some deer to bring back and some summer sausage and some snack sticks and all that wonderful stuff.
Never been to Kansas.
It's cool.
I don't think I've been to Missouri either. I don't know.
I'm nothing against Missouri. I like Missouri. Where we hunt is, closer up to, the northwest quadrant of Missouri. So it works out. I like it there, but I'm a bigger fan of Kansas. And I think more so because where we hunt in Missouri, there's a lot more people there. I mean, not a lot of people. I mean, it's not a lot of people, but there's more around. And in Kansas, where we hunt at in our place, our house out there is, I think the town's got like 34 people in it. And so, yeah, you're out in the middle of nowhere.
34 people.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't pay attention to what you said. I thought you were like 3,400, 34,000.
34
people.
people.
In there.
Yeah. So I kind of like that.
Like Antarctica.
You get away from all of this stuff, and it's from an extreme perspective, you can kind of go out there and just enjoy.
To me, it's always mind blowing how many people live in a place. Like
Yeah.
when they give populations, it's like, oh, it was a town of 30,000 people. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and then you think about it, that's really not that many.
No.
But it seems like a lot. Like you don't realize how many people
Yeah.
live in a place. I think you say like 34. No,
Yeah.
that's quickly.
My
blows it
hometown,
everywhere.
when I was there, it was like 5,000 people, 7,000 like at the most. And now I think it's like 3,000, 2,000, something like that.
Well, I thought people were
Crazy.
so often, and they're talking about like graduating classes for high schools and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we are like 50 people. I'm like, 50 people? Shit, we had a bunch. I mean, I don't remember what the number was, but it was definitely wasn't 50. It was an auditorium. You know what I
I
mean?
know ours was tiny. So. You look tired, man. You can't be yawning on a podcast.
I'm not tired. I just don't know why I can't stop yawning. It's just killing me. I'm trying. That's why my face is. I'm trying to focus and not yawn all the time. Trying to pull it together. I should have drank something with caffeine in it. I didn't get any caffeine today. It's just fine. And I think it's raining outside. It's all gross.
It is. Hurricane's coming.
Be nice. Oh yes, I was outside. I mean, we got at least 3 to 4 centimeters of water. Yeah, it's really not. You know, so they downplayed a lot of that stuff in Florida that it wasn't that bad, but then I've seen some of the videos pretty bad. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sometimes I get confused. Like people are standing there and they're like, "Oh my God, look at this storm surge." And I'm like, "Did you not think that was gonna happen?"
So, and here's the thing. I grew up in that, I grew up in hurricane country, in near Pensacola and all that stuff. So one of the things that I will tell you is you don't really, when a hurricane comes, all right, you're kind of used to it. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, whatever. And you think, okay, storm surge. You hear about storm surge or whatever. And sometimes storm surge can be a little bit, it just depends. If the hurricane comes when the tide's out, you're not going to get a big storm surge. If it comes when the tide's full, you're going to get a big storm surge. And it just really depends. But it just becomes kind of one of those things you go through, like tornadoes out in Kansas. My wife is terrified. I mean, terrified of tornadoes. And she will never let me move to Kansas permanently because of tornadoes. So I think you just become accustomed to it in, hurricane country, and you just kind of do stuff. Anna's throwing stuff.
I know she's making a lot of noise over there.
So
Well, like when at home we had, tropical storms that come through and stuff like that. And that's mainly what we do. Get down and check the marina, loosen the boats up.
oh yeah,
Because sometimes the water would be like over the dock. You just didn't want the lines to sink your boat. You know what I
Right.
mean? So stuff like that. But, I mean, I've seen some pretty crazy storm surges just from tropical storms. So
oh yeah.
I can imagine it's like that. People don't quickly understand.
But the other side is too, where are you going to go?
That's true too.
I mean, where are you going to go? You're going to go to a shelter?
No,
No.
I wouldn't.
And if you don't have money to, the hotels are sold out, the gas is sold out. You sit in your house and you just hope for
Sleep
the
in a
best.
canoe.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And your bathtub.
That's my saying. Sleep in the canoe. that's my time target. Every time I have a problem in life, I'm like, just
Sleep in a canoe.
sleep it out in the canoe. So we had some stuff to do this week.
Yeah.
And we're going to announce the winner for the St. Croix Rod, which we did. We got a person picked for that. Write that name down.
Yeah.
We also, we're going to do another drawing.
Right.
I have that over here too.
Yeah.
Secret.
Yeah. That's actually pretty cool.
And discuss that. And then we wanted to
We got to talk about hunting.
talk about hunting.
Yeah.
Talk about your silencer thing. You want to touch
Yeah.
base on that again or something?
Yeah. I guess some of it got cut off last time, so I want to make sure.
It's a little tricky to tell. But we lost some. If you watched it live last time, we got it.
Right.
But for some reason, it didn't record.
Yep.
So some
Which
people
is
might
okay.
have got to hear all of it.
Right.
So that's part of that issue there. So first off, the rod giveaway.
Yes.
So
Drum roll.
100 followers on YouTube was the goal, and we got that. And
I think Anna's got she's got a sound effect she can use.
Can you hit a sound effect button? I don't know which one it is. Just hit one.
Just hit something. See what he does.
See what happens. These are pre-recorded.
Thank you, my friend.
Here we go.
That was perfect.
That's what else you got.
Oh my god, you suck so much.
Those are your 3 pre-recorded tones.
No, she's got a better one too.
What?
That
What
was from Star Wars.
Oh, I thought it was like Transformers.
Could be.
She looks always afraid to touch the button.
I
It's like
know.
she doesn't know what's pre-programmed.
It could be
about
terrible.
it. So yeah, none of that was any use.
it's
when we
all right.
press the button. So John Seacrest.
Yeah. John Seacrest.
That's who won the St. Croix Victory Rod. So
Congratulations to John Seacrest.
according to Anna, he comes in the store, and I think I know who that is. Oh, he's come in before, right? That's cool. Maybe he's watching. Hopefully he is. You get a rod.
Yeah.
If not,
Well, we'll do our best to try to get a hold of you.
But I think he's a local guy. I think actually, so
yeah,
kind of works out.
yeah, I think so. So I think that was cool. I'm glad that we got that one over with. You gotta stop, man. You're killing us today.
So the most exciting giveaway that we're ever going to do is right now.
Okay.
And it is fiscally expensive, probably.
All right.
I think the MSRP, without giving it away what it is, the MSRP is $26.
Oh, okay.
So
It's not a $200 freaking St. Croix rod, but
not cheap,
right.
but it is made by a company called Weston. They
Right.
make fishing lures.
I have some of their fishing lures. I like their fishing lures.
And this is I'm going to say this correctly. This is what you hear is correct. This is a 14 1/8 ounce lure. It's 9 5/8 inches long. The color is,
You breaking?
what's the color code? The color is, they make a couple different colors. I think this was like blue something. I don't know. But this is the largest one of the series they make. This is the 14 1/8 ounce flat mat giant flounder lure.
Oh boy. So what do you got to do to get something like that?
Well, first off, let's read what the box says.
Okay.
The next best thing to dynamite when the huge halibut settle down in the shallow, sandy areas, they're just waiting for a little placid and floundering flicker overhead. Whatever. This giant lure is for catching, essentially,
A monster freaking
giant
halibut.
halibut. They're really cool. I mean, I've never seen them. We bought them because they were just crazy, and I've given them away as Christmas gifts, and people always think they're really funny.
Dude, that is so cool.
To be completely honest with you, though, sharks eat stingrays and flounders, so
I bet you could. And that's
you'd have to sight fish it to do it. But I mean, this thing. Do you have your knife on you? I'm going to take it out of the package, so people can see the real flip floppiness of it. It's
no, it's not. It's not assisted.
it's Damascus.
Yeah.
So
That's a Benchmade gold there.
oh wow, this thing's got a lot of
Got a lot of tape on it.
tape on it. Well, it weighs.
We're doing a live unboxing.
Yeah, we could have a whole show about that dumb stuff. Unboxing of boxes. Unboxing of am I gonna have to damage the box?
I think you will. I don't think you're getting that out without significant. Yeah, it's not coming out.
Well, if you win this, the box isn't gonna be perfect because I gotta show people now.
There it goes.
Live on the air when I cut my finger.
Yeah, you can't say that knife is not sharp.
I can't say this box isn't super secure. That's for sure.
That's loud.
Oh my god, is it sealed in here too? They weren't joking with this.
Turn your phone over.
Look how big that thing is.
Good God, man!
It's got
you
two-
got paws, man. You don't have like little hands.
It's got two. Look, it's got two bodies. Look, they flop around.
So
look
there,
at-
that's all one lure.
This is
That's-
one lure at the head, and then one replacement body on the backside.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So that's how big. I mean, it's got some heft to it. It's real flaky and shiny.
I'd
Look
pick
at
it
that.
up.
Look, it looks like a
Let me pick it up.
life.
Dude, that's no joke.
well, it's 9 1/8 ounces.
Jesus, that's insane.
It'll be like hook is.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do is when we get 40 followers.
I think we should do something for Spotify.
Oh, I don't know. How do we do that?
Yeah, we get people listening on Spotify.
Do people know how to do that?
I don't know. They should go to Spotify. and find
Anna, what do you think about
Honey
that?
Quest. You good with that? Yeah. She
Okay,
likes it.
so how many people have to like it on Spotify?
I can do 40.
Okay, so
Or you got to get 40 views.
how many views? 40 views?
Yeah.
On what? This video?
No, anything.
See, I don't understand how that works.
I'll explain to you afterwards.
So this is going to make sense to people?
Yes, it will. Just go watch it on Spotify.
Only 40. So it tells you every time somebody views
Yeah,
it?
every time.
Oh, okay. You could win this giant flounder lure. by going on Spotify and doing whatever Mike Tippin says you're supposed to do, because I don't really know what you're supposed to do. But it's a really big lure.
Just go
and
watch
it's the
this on
last one
Spotify.
I have. I bought them last year on clearance. And I did it. Let's be honest with you. I would tell you this, full disclosure. I was looking at fishing lures that were on sale to buy for the store, put a bargain bin, stuff like that, something different. And Weston makes all kinds of crazy lures.
Oh, yeah. I like their stuff.
So, and they're from Sweden, I think, or something like that.
Really?
Nova Scotia. I don't know, somewhere like
I thought
that.
they were Nova Scotia, but
I think Nova Scotia, isn't it Canada? Or I don't know what the hell.
no.
They're from Oak Island. They're Treasure. That's Nova Scotia, I think. They're definitely not American. They're in the American market somewhat,
Right.
but they're really not an American lure. They're more
Right.
Overseas. They make really, really cool stuff.
It's not made in China.
No, well, at least it's not marketed from China. So, but they have all these lures, and they had these, but they make them all the way from like a half ounce all the way up. So I was ordering them, and they were on sale, so the pricing didn't really make a lot of sense.
Right.
So I was like, I'll take a case of those. Luckily, cases only like 4 of them. But I just was buying them like crazy, and they came in the mail. And at first, they were like the small ones and the medium ones.
Right.
And I was like, oh, these are cool. I mean, we sell stuff for freshwater fishing, but whatever, they're neat. So I just kind of had them. And people did buy some of them. And then the case came in with these big suckers. And I was like, oh, God, I can't put these in the shop. People laugh at me. Why do you do these things? So they sat in the back for a while, and we started giving away as funny gifts to people
I love it.
that fish.
I think it's so cool.
And this is the last one. I don't even know if they still make these giant things anymore. I know they make them in the smaller sizes, but the big. I mean, on eBay,
Dude, that is so
it's
cool.
probably like $20 or something. I don't know.
I bet
so-
it's more than that.
It's pretty cool. We could probably go try musky fishing with it.
I'm not throwing that thing.
But they made them a bunch of different colors. So I mean, that's like what some musculars weigh like that. I mean, if not more, significantly more. I mean, that's
I'm not
you get
throwing
out there
that.
and it wobbles.
Yeah, no.
I don't even know how you would like what action you use on a lure that's supposed to look like a flounder, but it's cool. I don't know. So hopefully we get 1,000 views or something. 'Cause I'm gonna give away that fishing lure. So that is the thing that I think is superb.
That's cool.
You know, it's just pretty darn neat. So,
I think that's awesome.
did we get any questions about reloading stuff? I know we talked about it a lot last week, and we asked if they had any questions. I know sometimes people reach out to
I
you.
don't. I got a couple. Nothing that I want to answer or I want to give the information out on here. Most of it was, what type of shot load should I do this or what type of
Like
this
specific question.
And I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not. That's too much of a liability for us to give you a recipe. Go to a recipe book. Reach out to Precision Reloading, and talk to them. They are a way better source than I ever will, and they are way more helpful than I will ever be. I can promise you. So, Precision helped me out to learn to learn how to do it. They gave me a lot of tips and tricks, but I'm not going to give you a recipe because I'm not going to be held liable. Talk to Precision.
The other thing I want to talk about too was the website. A little bit about that. So the website's up, it's still running. We still haven't knocked the fishing side up. I know
Yep.
we talked about that. I'm still trying to get the rep to walk us through a few more things and get that up and going. But if you want to
cool.
order stuff from the website, I will say this, and this is a problem that we are having, and I will discuss it. As much as I'd rather not. We're having a really hard time with shipping. Lately, things have been just all over the place. I don't know if it's just because people are getting back into the swing of things, orders are getting demand more. It's just been a nightmare with shipping.
Yeah.
So shipping's taking longer than average. So
Be
if you
patient.
bought something from us, just be patient. It's coming. We didn't forget about you. Some distributors are shipping like the same day. Some of our distributors are shipping way later. So it's just messing us all up across the board.
Yeah.
So if you have anything on order like that from us and you're waiting or you're calling or something like that, we're not doing it. Also, if you send us a message on Facebook to either the store or the Hunting Quest or anything, and it shoots back a response that says, like, thank you for telling us about the matter, we'll look into it. That's not us. It's doing some auto thing where it automatically responds.
Auto response.
And I don't know why, and it's not set up for it, but it just randomly does it. So like people get really mad. They're like, these people are just ignoring me. And yes, I am, because I didn't even know you messaged me because it doesn't show me that you messaged. So it shows that you've been responded to. And with all of us in the thing doing it separately, I normally don't look at it if it says responded.
Right.
So that's part of the problem too. So if you get like an automatic, like generic thing coming back, tell us that that's
Yep.
what's going on with it. So that's, part of the issue too. Got a lot of cool consignments in.
Yeah, you got some great stuff on the.
Got some
on
neat
the
stuff.
shelf right
So
now.
if you haven't been in lately, come check it out. We got some neat stuff. Definitely floating around. We talked about buck knives the other day.
Yep.
So if you,
That's going to be your Christmas present.
yeah, if you want to do some corporate engraving or something like that, shoot us a message and we'll get you set up for that because it takes a little bit of time because this is now the time to be ordering that kind of stuff. Oh, we're also probably going to carry some new cleaning stuff.
What's the stuff that you use?
Oh, the stuff that I use for bore solvent.
Yeah.
Is,
And
what's the name of that company, Anna? Is it Breakthrough? Breakthrough.
breakthrough.
It's like a green little bee
Yeah,
on a shield.
That stuff is awesome.
Yeah, so their cleaner bore solvent or whatever
Yeah.
is like the best one I've ever used.
Yeah.
And that's not, they don't give me anything.
Yeah, they haven't sponsored us.
I've met those guys like one time. They have no idea who I am. So that's truly, I mean, that stuff is really, really good. It's not harsh. It doesn't eat up your gun, but God, it cleans
and it doesn't smell.
carbon
Like,
and
it
everything.
Doesn't
Yeah, it
smell
doesn't smell bad.
hardly
It's-
at all.
And it's a little. I mean, it's dirty as anything else would be. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not. It's really not bad. Of course, it's like the old hoppies and stuff that would work
Yeah.
real well. That would like kill you if you stay in
Yeah.
the basement too long with
Yeah.
it. That's outlawed now. This stuff doesn't smell bad at all, and it cleans really, really well. And you can just let it sit and then crank it off, and it
Yeah.
does well. So I'm really, really impressed with that. ProShot is the company we're going to bring on. As far as their chemicals go, I don't know. I didn't really mess with a lot of their chemical stuff that seemed too much mind blowing to me. But their components
Yeah.
were really nice.
Really?
Yeah, like
I
they're
looked at some of their cases of the different
well, like
cleaning kits that they have set up. Not, I mean, you can buy individual components and you can buy kits, and they all look like they're well put together. So
well, what's neat about them is that they have these. Let's see if I can find the handles. The handles are. I mean, like here's what's really cool too. Like if you look at these cleaning brushes,
oh, okay, yeah,
like you've got
that makes sense,
10-inch mops
right?
to put through the barrel, and they make them in different calibers and stuff. I mean, that's really, really cool stuff. They use all kinds of their jigs that they use for the patches are all really, really nice.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
their rods, their actual cleaning rods, if I can find them, of course, because we're talking about it. I just had them open a second
Right
ago.
there.
Yeah, so they're cleaning rods. Yeah, they
I
got
like
1
'em.
piece, 2 piece, 3 piece ones, and then they're this billet aluminum,
Yeah,
and they're really, really solid. I mean, super, super, super solid. It's super nice. And like I said, they have different kits, but they also have you can just buy all the fixed rods.
That's
You know what I
cool.
mean? So
Yeah.
you can get whatever. And then they also own,
they do targets and all kinds of stuff too.
and they own Clean Bore.
Oh, do they? I
Yeah,
like
so
Bore.
Clean Bore is like their value brand.
I like Clean Bore.
And Clean Bore makes some really cool stuff, like the snakes
Yeah.
and the little travel kits. And they make magazine well cleaners
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So some really neat stuff from Clean Bore too. And then also they make like all kinds of targets. So we're gonna start having this stuff in the store soon.
I
too.
carry Clean Bore stuff with me for the duck blind. If stuff starts freezing up, it's real easy to get hold of and just run something through.
Well, it's funny because
But
I think we talked about that before. Where
Yeah.
there's a lot of synthetics
yeah,
that will freeze up. I think the story that I always use is that years ago we were using a company, I won't say who it was, but they made a synthetic cleaner that, in my opinion, worked really, really well. But it worked really well when you were using the gun. If you weren't using the gun to let it sit, it tended to gum
gummed
up.
up. Yeah,
So if you were going to run your gun all the time, or you were competing, or you were shooting or combat or something, yeah, it was great because it never gunked up. But if you let it sit for a long time, it gunk up. But because it was synthetic, if it got cold,
yeah, we're kind of over.
it would freeze up. And we had a trailer, so we would do gun shows years ago. We had a trailer. We had those C-locks.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
And the trailer we would just lock up if we weren't using it. And we had a gun show in the winter. And we went out there the day before and had opened it, and the locks were sticking.
yeah.
So one of the guys, not me, but one of the guys went through and put that oil, because that's all I had laid around, that gun oil in the lock, and a lot of it in the front and the back, and ran it so it was smooth. Well, that night we came back and
frozen.
you couldn't even get the key in the hole because it was so frozen. And we had to sit there with a lighter
Yep.
and heat it up, which, I mean, it was really cold. It was like 15 degrees and like a little windy. So trying to get that lighter there, I mean, it took us a long time to finally get the lock open.
Oh yeah.
So that's when I learned, like, yeah, there's definitely a distance. I mean, a difference.
Yeah.
Different times for different things, and especially like you talk about being in a duck blind.
Yeah. It's cold. It's wet. I mean, if you want to test the functionality and the capability of a shotgun, and your cleaning skills, go sit in a duck blind in Kansas or even Saskatchewan, or for goose or something like that. If you can find a gun that'll cycle rounds, I don't care if they're 2 3/4 or 3 1/2. I don't care what they are. They cycle it consistently, and you're not getting hangups, jams, anything like that. You found one heck of a gun.
Saskatchewan is notorious for Saskatchewan your guns up.
That's terrible.
So I don't even know where Saskatchewan is. I
Canada.
don't know what that was. So really quick, by the way, some of the rods, they make rods from 8 inches to 50 inches long.
Good Lord.
Solid rods.
That's
And
crazy.
the 50 inch is a 30 cal rod.
Nice.
And they have a 48 inch made for 50 cal rifles
Jesus.
with a 50 cal jack. I mean, that just shows the variety.
You know what I do? I bring my guns into Davis Guns and Gear and tell them Mark to clean them. I ask. I don't tell. I've asked.
$30 will save you a lot of time.
Yep.
I tell people talk about gun cleaning all the time. They're like, oh, it's $30 of it,
You don't understand.
You got to make a killing. And I'm like, sometimes guns aren't that bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes they suck. Sometimes it's way more than $30 worth of work. It kind of evens out at the
Yep.
end. It's kind of like when you talk about like people charging like shipping on eBay.
Yep.
And you charge like $5. Like, maybe 4 times it only costs you $4 until that one guy lived in somewhere in California that cost you $15 to send it. And you're like, I didn't make any money off my shipping. I'm in the
Right.
hole. So that's kind of how I look at the gun clearing. It works. I don't mind doing it, but sometimes it's like you look back and you go, did I make any money off that?
Well, there's, like I brought Allie's her gun in, and John actually got a hold of that one. But
That's that solvent.
I'm telling you, man, I tried everything to clean that thing, and I'm not a slouch. I'm not a big idiot when it comes to cleaning guns. I get it, but I couldn't get that stuff out. And he was like, "Oh, I just worked on it for an hour." And he cleaned it up, and it's
Spray
just
it,
like
let it
freaking
sit,
butter now.
And it's
so
amazing how fast that stuff comes off.
it's so I'm impressed.
It's phenomenal. Well, that was like when I was cleaning the guns. I cleaned a whole bunch of guns the other day, and somebody was like, "Oh, why don't you use the ultrasonic cleaner?" And I was like, "Because it takes more time." And they were like, "Then what?" And I was like, "This solvent is so good
Yeah,
that I take the gun apart, break it down to pieces, spray everything down with solvent, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then just start cleaning it like
Yeah.
you normally clean everything. And then at the end, wipe it all out, and the thing's just." It's
butter.
just spotless.
Yeah.
It just works really, really well. And then take like a silicone rag and wipe everything back down after oil the spots and then wipe it all down. And it's amazing how well that comes up.
yeah.
People just they either overthink cleaning and want to clean it way too much,
Yeah.
or they don't understand it, or they just can't seem to get it out. And a lot of it's just tips and tricks from doing it over and over and over and over and over and over, where you just get like good with it. You know what I mean?
I bought a gun from a guy. It's a 12 gauge shotgun, Remington Versamax. Phenomenal gun. Bought it from him. He's a kid.
Workhorse.
Oh yeah, if anybody ever goes to goes in the duck blind with me and they don't have a shotgun, that's what they're getting. There's no question about it. That gun has, it functions. It is just perfect. So I took that gun. I bought it from him, and he used it for turkey. He used it for ducks. He used it for everything. And I'll dime him out. His name's Bailey. Bailey is a young man, and I went and I took this gun apart, and I asked him, I said, Bailey, have you ever cleaned this gun? He goes, no. How long have you had this gun? Oh, for a long time, a couple of years. And on the Versamax, there's these vents that come down the barrel. They sit there, and it's to off gas and help
For the
release.
different chamber,
Exactly.
the different
Chambering rounds.
chambering the different brass heights.
Right,
yes.
exactly. It's for tall brass or short brass or whatever. They were completely clogged. Completely clogged with gunk. And I'm like, how am I ever going to clean this thing? I spent probably 4 days cleaning it. And then I gave it to my buddy Joey. I said, Joey, I did the best I could. And Joey takes it apart. He's like, I think we just need to fill up a bathtub and soak it in something. And Joey got it all cleaned up. And we, between the two of us, I mean, we took that thing down to nothing. Now it's the best shooting gun ever, So you have people like that, like Bailey. Don't be Bailey. Clean your guns, It's important. I mean, and the gun functioned. It functioned fine. There was no issue with that gun. It functioned completely jacked up.
There was a gentleman. It was really interesting. He used to have. I see him every couple of years,
Right.
and he has this old 1911, and it has an old 22 conversion in it. And the old 1911 22 conversions, the back of the barrel, or the chambers, it's like this little weird floating chamber. It only moves the slightest bit, and then it goes into the seating of the barrel. And I don't know why it's designed like that, really, but it is. It's an old thing, but it works fine. And he would bring it in one day, and he goes, I can't get it to seat anymore. And he thought all these things were wrong, and I couldn't figure it out. And I couldn't get that little floating chamber out, and I couldn't figure out how it was in there so tight. How did they machine this? What the hell? How is this possible?
Yeah.
So I finally put it in a vise, and I turn it, and I start to wiggle it, and I wiggle it, and I wiggle it, and I pop it out and get it out. And I look in the chamber, and I'm like, it's all metal. I don't know what's wrong. I can't figure out. It's all shiny. The barrel's stainless. I'm trying to figure out, this whole chamber is machined correctly. There's nothing there. And I'm like, how is this thing possibly sticking like this? So I take a pick.
It's kind of.
And I put the pick at the inside, and I press it like this, and I realize he's been shooting this 22 so many years that the little bit of shavings that have gotten in have compressed so tight
It's all metal.
that they have literally compacted themselves into a perfect image of the backside of that piece I pulled out.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I literally took 2 millimeters of brass out of the whole thing.
That's crazy.
With a scribe slowly, and they put it in there. There was all the space, but fire's fine. And I explained to him, if you're going to keep doing it, you clean it. If you're not going to do that much, don't use soft points. Use something with a jacketed head,
Right.
jacketed round.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. 2 years later, this gun's doing the same thing again. And I was like, oh my God, sure enough, pull it apart. Same thing, take the lead out. And then he brought it here one last time, and I was like, man, I really liked it. It was just a cool gun. And I was like, he wanted something that was reliable. You know what I
Right.
mean? He could shoot 1,000 rounds, and never clean it. I don't know if it's really reliable there. But he had it, and I had fixed it. And I told Anna, because he would try to do things like that he thought would fix it. And I was like, eventually he's going to break this gun.
Right.
And he said, and I had it there, and he came back, and I said, hey, I want to see if he'll sell it to me. You know what I
Right.
mean? So he comes back, and he sees Anna, and I wasn't here. And Anna's like, yeah, it's whatever to fix it. I don't remember what it was. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I want this gun anymore. I have these problems. Would you guys be interested in buying it? She said, well, Mark said something. Why don't you wait and see him? And I haven't seen him again. And that was 2 years. And I just loved it because it was just the coolest old gun. But that just shows you the example of how much. I just had a gun come in the other day. There was a Bolt Action 22. There's the same story. The
Right.
bolt seems so tight
I remember
to
you
push
working on that one.
forward.
Yeah.
And it was because it just has too much lead buildup. But if you looked at it, you wouldn't. It looks like regular
Wouldn't know.
metal. It looks just like the stainless steel does. And you go, oh, that's just the barrel. No, it's not the barrel. It's lead compacted in there so tight
Yeah.
that you can't figure it out. And
Yeah.
that's just one of those weird things that if you don't
If you don't know, you don't know.
it,
Yeah.
you'll never know until
Yep.
you're dicking around with it. Then you press
Yep.
it and you go, and people are like, oh, well, could you heat it up and have the lead pour out? You really got to get that shit hot to get that lead to pour out.
Yeah.
So it's highly likely that you're ever going to get it that hot.
Yeah,
Because,
that's-
when we used to pour lead in lead pots, and I'm not talking electric lead pots, we'd put them in fire.
Right.
The cast iron would be glowing red half the time, and we'd be scooping out lead and pouring fishing weights. You know what I mean? Off of old,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
old,
Yeah, I've
old
been
tire
there.
irons.
Yeah.
So old irons, old balancing weights on the
Yep.
tires. But that way, and I used to love doing that. I used to we sit out in the backyard,
Till it starts popping.
and I'd sit there and go, "Oh, the killer was like when you would go through and take all the we call it sledge off the top,
Yeah.
and then you'd pour it, and then you'd have to get the molds hot. So
Yep.
I always thought
Or you get a cold cast.
they cast it so much better when the molds were hot. So I never, of course, had the nice molds. I had molds from 1927.
Sure.
So we had to bolt them together with C clamps.
Yep.
And then we put them in there, and then I'd throw them in the fire, and then I'd have these big steamy welder gloves, I yank it out. I can only hold it for like a second.
Yep.
Take it, lay it on a stump,
Ever heard of tongs?
and then take whatever ladle I had stolen from the house that was never going to go back,
right.
dip it in. And somehow they didn't just fall apart, and pour lead in there.
Oh,
and
dear God.
it was so much fun back then. I used to do it
yeah.
all the time. Now they just use electric pot. We used to do all kinds of crazy stuff back
Oh, that's
then.
pretty cool, though.
Amazing we never got lead poisoning.
Didn't lick
Well,
it, so.
yeah, you gotta get it in the air. That's one of the misconceptions, or eat it.
Yeah, well,
I don't really see
I
myself
know people who ate it, so.
eating too much lead.
Licking paint.
But no, that's one of those things that like you just don't realize can happen.
Yeah.
Like when you don't clean stuff, it takes that long.
Oh, God.
Next thing you know, it's just so
It's murderous, man.
So
you're sitting there
filthy.
and you're like, oh man, how did you do this? You know, but you know, to be fair, I got a really good gun. He wants to buy it back every time he sees me. You can sell my gun? Nope, nope. I'll sell it back to him eventually when he can figure out how to take care of the ones that he's got. So, but
I mean,
like the
some
gun.
some guns are inherently easier to maintain. You know
The
what I
gun's not hard. You just have to do it. He didn't do it. It's not a hard gun to clean.
mean? Some of you gotta get. Well, some of the shotguns too. Like if you don't, like barrels wise, like if you don't keep that barrel clean,
Oh yeah.
and then you don't have like a really nice brush
Yep.
and a really nice mop, you'll never get the center back where it was. Like,
Right.
You can scrub it, and it just won't go.
Right.
Until you get like the right stuff. So I used to have. I don't have them anymore, but I used to have. Not a reamer, but you run them in the barrel with a little ball.
Oh, the
A drill.
honing
Yes,
honers.
I used to
Yeah.
have honers for 12 gauge or 20 gauge and stuff like that because when they just got to the middle where somebody had neglected it,
Yeah.
as long as it wasn't like pitted,
Yeah.
we could hone it and get it back out shining again. But I mean, most of the time, most barrels they'll clean up and shine like they were brand new.
Oh yeah.
Like if people
And they
just don't-
shoot so good.
people don't realize like how long it takes to actually damage it. Like corrosive ammo will do it, a nightmare.
Well, and you
But-
go back and you look at what you're shooting. You know, if you're, you take you're trying to shoot slugs out of a non-slug gun, which you can do, but you know, it's not a rifle barrel, so you're pushing a giant ball of lead out of the barrel of this gun, and it's not meant to do it, but it'll do it. And then you throw double aught buckshot that's copper plated in there, and then you throw in some tungsten, and then you throw in all these different things, and it becomes just a pain, and you filed up a barrel or whatever, and I don't know, it's but you use what you use, right? So
First shotgun I ever bought was a Benelli Supernova Tactical. And I
that was
wanted
an
to go-
870 Express.
I wanted to go shoot this thing, and I took it out, and I remember being so confused with smoothbore, and I was like, I don't have a rifled barrel, so do I want rifled slugs? But I don't have a rifled barrel. So my mind was like back and forth, and then there were slugs, and I was like, are those slugs for rifled barrels, or do I want a rifled slug?
Slug.
And then I just remember being confused, and then eventually somebody was like, a rifled slug is for a smoothbore gun. I was like,
Right.
oh,
Right,
okay.
right,
So
right,
that
right.
was really funny. And then I was really impressed with how far those actually shoot.
They go.
How well and stable they were. Well, because you get like the movie idea.
Yeah.
They're like, I try to shoot across the room, it's going to fall on the ground.
Yeah.
No.
No. They go.
It's going.
Yeah. I've seen them. I've seen folks accurate with that easily at 100 yards. Accurate.
Well, I remember shooting a target 100 yards and being like, damn, did I shoot twice?
Right.
Because I didn't realize like how far the wadding was going.
Yep.
And it was so close to each other, the hole was just the same. And I
Yep.
was like, oh, there's wadding and
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff. So, but it's that's just things you learn over time.
Yep. Yep. So, we got to get into a couple other things, or else because we're getting short. on time.
shoot.
So I went and saw my friend Farron today, down at Hoffman Archery. Gave me a hat. Look at
Give
that.
you a hat today?
He gave me a
Nice
hat
looking
today.
hat.
So we're trying to work out some times. He's swamped because of bow season.
That's just in time.
I actually went down there to go get my bows. I have two Raven crossbows, so went down there to get those looked at. I don't let anybody else touch my bows. Farron is my guy. and he looked at the two crossbows, and we talked shop a little bit. And I've got a Raven R10 and an R29. So the R10 is one that I use, and the R29 is one that Allie has. And the reason why she went with the R29 is because it's much shorter, and it's a lot lighter. Both of them were in good shape, which was good. But the reason why I missed a year last year. I did not go down there, and I checked my bows. I shot with them before I left. Everything was good, and I left to go out to Kansas. I went back to Kansas, or when I got to Kansas to hunt. I'm sitting out there, and regardless, if I travel anywhere, I'll shoot my bow just to make sure it's still on. And I go to shoot, and this thing's like way off, like not consistent, like 6 inches to the left, and then 4 inches to the right, and then 5 inches low. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is not okay. So I called Farron. I'm in Kansas. I'm like, dude, what's going on? He says, check your strings. So I checked, and it's like, sure enough, the strings were out. And he goes, I don't have any strings for you. He's like, Raven's, middle of COVID, Raven's not shooting, not sending us anything. So, and not knocking Raven. They just, he's like, I don't have any. So I went to this different place, and they actually put a string on there and shot it. It was great. But learned my lesson. Get your stuff squared away. Make sure it's on point, even before you go hunting. I mean, that was legit. I drove out there. I shot 2 days before I left, put it in my truck, drove out, and shot. So all total, maybe 5 days, and it was out that quick. And it's just what had happened was the string stretched, and I didn't get it. I should have replaced it. The strings on the Ravens only last for so long. So anyway, I was down there. I was talking to him. I told him, I was like, look, man, you're ducking me. You don't, and he's really busy. So we're going to, again, he's going to give me a firm date of when he can come on. But, obviously bow season's starting. So he's swamped, but he's looking into it. He's going to get us a date. He's going to come on. So there's the arrow portion of it. And Travis from Ramrod got a hold of me, sent me something, and he's like, hey, just so you know, we still got a trip with Arrowfliction this October. Remember? So October is supposed to be the best time to go snakeheads, spring and fall. So
What is
Arrowfliction? Remember the guy that we talked to on the Rappahannock with the kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going with them.
Oh, with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah,
surprise.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to go one more time. What's that?
Surprise.
Right? Surprise.
Yeah, I wasn't, when you said it, it sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember why it sounded familiar.
Yeah, Arrowfliction.
Yeah, he had a son, and they were out there shooting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're gonna take us out.
Saber shooting recurves.
Yeah. No. One of them was they were Onadas.
They were some kind of weird recurve looking thing.
No, they're Onadas. It looks like a recurve. It's not. It's
not a regular compound. It didn't have
considered a compound
but it
bow.
didn't have a rotator.
I'll show it to you. So it comes out, and the limbs bend halfway down.
Okay.
It was based off of, originally that was a compound bow, and they called them Screaming Eagles, and they were like the fastest compound bow out, right? But what happened was they were so loud that it didn't matter how fast they were. You loose an arrow on a deer and they hear it, they're going to duck it. Doesn't matter how fast. So that was, they didn't last real long in the industry from a compound bow perspective. They look really, really cool though. I like the looks of them. But they do a very good job in, Onada is a great company. So, no, they don't sponsor this podcast, but if you would like to, no, Onada does. They've fallen into that world of bow fishing and things like that.
It might have been that route that I saw. I mean, that route. I saw a bow at a store that I wouldn't go to.
Mm-hmm.
Big buck store. Terrible for the economy.
Right.
They had one. It was crazy expensive.
Oh yeah, it's like $1,000.
And it was really
easily.
cool looking.
Oh yeah.
And it looked like kind of like a compound, but
Oh,
not
yeah.
a compound, but
Yeah.
like a recurve.
Yeah, I'll find you a picture of it. But so we got to go do that.
Do you know what I want to talk about? And I need
for
to ask these guys next time we talk to some of the bow fishing guys.
What's that?
So you know the gig flounder?
Yeah,
Some states let you gig flounder.
yeah. I've gone flounder
I
gigging.
think Virginia lets you gig flounder. I'm not sure, but Can you bowfish flounder then?
I imagine it would act just like if you're
If you're
gigging.
gigging, I
Yeah,
can't
and
understand the
there's-
law would say that
Well,
you
there's
couldn't
pretty significant limits on what you can gig and what you can't gig.
giggity giggity. I don't understand. Like I don't know. I've never been gigging. I don't even like saying it. It's a weird word.
I've been
never,
frog gigging.
never been
I've
frog
flounder
gigging. Never been flounder gigging.
That's fun. Got the lights and the whole two.
I did. Dude,
So
we used to go to the club and do a two-step gig. It's a dance.
You know, I like you, right?
I would like to like shoot flounder. I like to shoot something that tastes good. That's disgusting catfish.
Well, your boy Peter, who stuck a bunch of them.
Let me talk to you about.
He
Peter.
ate 'em.
Let me tell you about Peter. Peter is a connoisseur of eating crap people wouldn't eat. That's Peter for you. Peter will eat anything. We could go out tomorrow and we could go catch centipedes. Peter like, I'll eat that thing, because Peter will eat anything once. You know, but and he prides himself on. You know, more power to him, because I just don't. I'm just not that brave. I'm not gonna do it. He's the one that was eating snapping turtles. I'm not gonna talk about that story because he probably gets on jail. But
I'm not going to jail.
yeah, I mean, he'll eat anything. So when you caught those catfish, and you were like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So when he caught those catfish, and you guys were like, yeah, I would eat that one with the bumps, and he was like, oh, really? Like he would have eaten that. Like he'll eat anything. Like he'll be like if we ever did have like civil unrest and you were living in the streets, oh, he'd be fine.
Oh yeah.
He'd just be eating trash all day. He'd just trying all kinds of stuff. He'd be eating rats.
I don't think Emily would let him.
I think he'd probably eat Emily. I'm just saying, if it came down to it and it was the flight or fight, he'd be like, I don't know.
I don't think.
I hope he's. I'm sure he's not listening right now. But I wish.
I know where he's at, but he's not listening.
Oh, is he over the thing?
Yeah.
So no. So he's Yeah. Don't. You can't use Peter as a.
There are thousands of people. There's an entire industry down south, and like I grew up. There's this place called David's Catfish House, and there are thousands of catfish places. That's
Look,
all they
let
do
me-
is
let me
make fried catfish.
Tell you one thing that I know. I can catch catfish from dusk to dawn.
Oh God! Stop while you're ahead.
So
You're gonna get people who hate us.
that's all I know.
Stop while we're ahead. Do you know how to run a trot line?
I can run a trot line. I can skin a buck.
Oh goodness! All right. Anyway,
So if you,
moving
don't
right
know, if you
along.
don't know what song that is, that's from, you should Google it. It's a pretty good song. So just type those lyrics in, they'll go through.
No, they won't.
They will. Country Boy Will Survive is the name of the song.
Yes.
Can Survive. Who sings it? Willie Nelson.
No. Hank Williams Jr. Jr.
That's Dirk Bentley.
No.
So Bubba Sparks, I believe, is who sang that.
It's Hank Williams Jr.
In case anybody knows who Bubba Sparks is, I do. So
Anyway,
yes, but somehow we were talking about Peter. Peter, eat anything first off. Second off, I think it'd be fun to catch flounder because flounder are delicious.
I think flounder are delicious.
Flounder are really.
But I'm not going to go. I mean, I don't know. Do y'all have flounder up here? I didn't say in your store as a 8-ounce freaking weight. I'd say, do y'all have flounder like
It's
in?
not quite a keeper.
You know?
Yeah, the Potomac.
Really?
Yeah.
But like where down like Sandy Point or something?
I was like, are you just assuming going to say sandy places because they live in the sand? I know you'll catch them up and down. I mean, we used to catch them in. So if you go in the Potomac, so like if you come off of if you come like it's expressway, if you come in the bay and you come into Potomac off Point Lookout, there's a cove over there called.
Giving away our fishing secrets.
I haven't fished down there in a while. Probably gonna piss off some people. Oh my god, what's the name of that place? Well, I don't know, but there's a cove over there, and there were a whole bunch of flounder in there. And it used to be an old like shipping port years ago, and you could catch flounder in there. And then I know we caught them farther up in the Potomac. I don't know how far up in the Potomac, but I mean, we caught them farther down. But yeah, they're around Cornfield Harbor. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, Cornfield Harbor. You catch them down there, and you catch them down at Point Lookout. You catch them on the Bay side and the Potomac side.
All right. Well, I'm asking the man.
I don't think you can bow fish them here because remember it's the whole you can only bow fish invasive fish except for the gar.
Right.
But I don't know what states allow you to gig flounder. So I bet if you found the state that allowed you to gig flounder, because I've seen videos of people bow fishing flounder.
Really?
my boat hand. Yeah. Yeah. So
right.
I don't know. It'd just be neat.
All right. Well, we'll see.
It'd be interesting. If we could catch a bunch of snakehead, I'll be happy.
I want snakehead because y'all keep telling me how good this thing tastes. All right. We'll see.
So like if catfish was a 1,
Yeah.
snakehead's a 10, and catfish is in the negatives.
No.
I'm telling you, it's so good.
All right. I'll believe it when I try one.
It's good. It's really, really good.
Well, we got to know. We got one last trip before.
But I mean, I don't know too. I mean, there's lots of really good fish out there.
All right. Well, I'll eat catfish. I'm not eating.
Catfish is like freshwater. It's like the bluefish of freshwater.
It's not.
That weird gross taste to it. Tastes like dirt.
No, that's called carp.
Oh, I wouldn't eat a carp.
I'm not eating a carp.
I'm not eating a carp. No. I don't care how much they sushi it up and make it look cool when it cooks.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
eating that. Damn
not
thing.
eating carp.
No.
Not eating carp at all. Not
Dust to
gonna
dawn.
happen. So that was kind of what I wanted to talk about today.
So I
was
didn't
to
know we were.
see-
So when did you set that up? Did you not tell me? Did you tell me this before?
No, I got it from the thing. I don't have a firm date yet.
No, but you didn't tell me this before, did you? Okay, because you looked at me like I was supposed to know this. and
Yeah,
was
I know.
like, I didn't know this.
I wanted to get your reaction.
I had to go find my pants
Right?
because it's too cold to wear shorts.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. It's been chilly out lately.
I had to put the long sleeve shorts on today.
I wore shorts today after I went to work. I changed.
I got long sleeve shorts on.
Fancy. And boots.
Yeah. I like my boots. It's supposed to be a hurricane today.
When are you coming back from Kentucky?
Not Kentucky. Missouri.
Missouri, same place.
Kansas.
Whatever.
Yeah, no. I am actually going to go to Kentucky on my way to Missouri because I'm going to go do a bourbon tour. Probably going to go to Heaven Hill
So when we went to
or Angel's Envy. I'm not sure.
Nashville,
Yeah.
there was a big
Don't try to compare that to Kentucky.
What's the place called? The bourbon over there?
You're talking about Jack Daniels?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
There was a Jack Daniel's store.
Lynchburg, Tennessee.
And they had, I don't know why it was there, but they had all this, they had there, like a big store. And they had all the, you could buy the
Oh, yeah. The
casts. I don't
Yeah.
know what they call it, whatever you.
talking about the barrels and
The
stuff.
barrels, yeah. They had barrels. They had like tables made out of barrels.
Yeah,
And
it's cool
it
as
was
that.
kind of neat. I mean, it's not my thing because I don't really drink that much, and I definitely don't drink any bourbon.
Right.
But if I did, like that would be really, really cool. Now we went to an antique shop over the weekend.
Yeah.
That had some tables and stuff made out of tops too, and that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty
Big money,
neat.
too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was crazy.
Big
crazy
money.
Expensive. Now the whole barrels from when we were there in Tennessee, they weren't crazy expensive, but they were really big.
Right.
I'm like, how do you get that thing all the way back home? Like, they should have your truck with you. You strapped it down.
Yeah.
Filled it full of gas.
That's it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's pretty neat. We also went to, he was the biggest letdown, and I don't care, and I'll talk about it in the news, is the American Pickers, that antique show.
I've never seen it.
So it's on Discovery.
Okay.
It's these two guys that they go around and they buy stuff, and they call themselves pickers, and it's really terrible. But
That's probably why I don't watch it.
it's really not that great. They're really like eccentric. They're like old motorcycle parts and old bicycle stuff, like really eccentric, weird stuff.
Sure.
But they have a store in Nashville,
Okay.
and you see it on the show. It looks this big store. You go in there, and it's just a damn gift shop.
Oh, really?
It's got like 4 antiques in it from the store. They're like $10,000, and then
Yeah, no.
it's like, you want to buy a bumper sticker? It's like, what? And then you got to pay for parking, and it's like, but the rest of the building used to be a Marathon Motor car
Oh, that's cool.
factory.
All right.
And they've put a bunch of stores in the rest of the building, and in the building is a museum of the place.
All right. That would be
And
cool.
It is really, really cool.
That would be
Their
really cool.
store is the most least interesting thing ever. Everything else in that place is super, super, super cool. Because see, Nashville is one of those
I'm a fan of Nashville.
not a big city.
No, not at all.
So when you get there, you think, because you look at the strip, you think, oh, it's huge. Well, strip's what, 4 blocks?
Yeah.
Maybe. So you get there and you're like, wow, there's not a lot here.
But it's a fun town.
But there's some neat stuff.
There's
What-
some really cool stuff to see.
And you can pretty much walk the whole thing. And,
Yep.
and people will say you can walk everywhere. Like, people, oh, you can walk all Ocean City. Yeah, it's freaking 20 miles long.
Yeah, no.
But Nashville, you can literally
Yeah.
just about walk everywhere.
Yep, absolutely.
And it was pretty cool. We liked it. It was neat. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
I love Nashville. I'm a big fan. My cousin got married in Nashville at the Opryland Hotel. I got to spend time there. You know, I spent a lot of time, not a lot of time, but I've spent enough time in Nashville. There's 3 things that I love about Nashville. First one is Gruden's Guitar Shop. You can walk in there and you can pull any guitar off the wall and play it, and it is the coolest place on the planet. I mean, they've got Martin 12 strings. They've got, I mean, you name it, banjos, like high end stuff. And it is so cool to go see it. So, Gruden's is really cool. And then there's Smokies, which is the bar, you know, go listen to some music there. And then there's this place down there. They have the best chicken wings on the planet. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Oh, is it all that? So is it all the
Yeah.
Tennessee, Kentucky hot? What is it? It's Nashville hot.
Nashville
chicken?
hot chicken. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, so KFC had that was the first time I ever saw like Nashville hot chicken was KFC.
Oh shit.
And they had it. And I tell you what, that shit is hot. Like, don't get me wrong, it's hot. And it's okay, but it's hot. It's just really hot more than anything. And then you go to Nashville and you think, like, is it like, if that was hot, this has to be terribly hot. And you eat it and you're like, it's hot, but it
That's
tastes
delicious.
really good.
Yep.
Whereas, like, from the KFC there, it's not bad, but it's just really hot.
Yeah, it's not good.
But there, it's like you're not eating it like, oh my God, this is so hot, I can't eat it.
Oh, yeah.
You're eating it.
You're eating
and
it
it's
so
so
good.
good.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we went to an event and they had all that Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah.
And they had like chicken, like you get whatever piece you wanted, you know? And it just had that red tint to it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, God, this is going to be terribly hot. And it wasn't. It was hot, but it was so
good.
so good. Yeah, I really liked that. We went to Jason Aldean's bar.
Yeah. How was it?
So we were there for an event,
Right.
and the event that we were there for had bought out the place
Okay.
for the night.
Oh, that's cool.
So you had to be like a VIP to get there, and everything was
Right.
free.
Oh, cool.
So like all the beer, all the drinks, and everything was on the house. They were just walking around, trays of food, giving stuff out, which sounds really cool. But the downside was it was so packed
Yep.
that it was like shoulder to shoulder,
Yeah.
and like
And you might get a beer at some point.
yeah,
but-
we basically would have had to have gotten there like hours beforehand,
Right.
and got a table because if you couldn't, and it was just too much.
Yeah.
So we wound up leaving, walked the strip, which really wasn't very long.
Yep.
And then we were just tired because we had driven like the 8 hours.
Yeah.
Roughly
Give or
8
take,
hours,
yeah.
probably to get there. So we wound up just ordering room service and watching TV,
That's cool.
and that was even really cool too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was a good trip. Stay at the Hilton.
Oh, yeah. I like the Hilton.
The Hilton there is nice. You know, I will stay at Hilton's or we'll stay at Marriott's. Because if I'm going to stay, I'll spend the extra little bit of money to stay for somewhere nice. And I'll tell you what, every Hilton's been good, but I will tell you, I will put on blast. Never stay at that Hilton in Ocean City. Every time we go fishing, we would get to stay at that Hilton. I was so mad we got there. And
This is, you said Ocean City?
Ocean City,
Okay,
Maryland.
not the one in Nashville.
No, one Nashville is
Okay, yeah.
fantastic. 100% stay there every time. It's great.
I like
They're
the
nice.
Opryland Hotel. If you ever
Everybody
go,
there
stay
was they were so nice there, but it was good. They was great. They have great breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So in Ocean City, the Hilton we stayed at, and it was such a shithole, and it took so long. And we got there. We were supposed to. I don't remember the times. But let's say our check-in was at 12 o'clock. And we got there. Like, we can't check in yet.
Ooh.
Okay. They're like, hey, what's up? Like, give us like an hour. Okay, we'll give it an hour. No big deal. So we wait. We come back by that 2 hours later. Hey, can we check in? Can you give us another couple hours? We're like, are you serious? Yeah. So we come back. At this point now, we want to get our stuff and get settled.
Right,
You know
yeah.
where we're gonna be. We gotta go fishing the next morning. So we go in and we get there, and they're like, "I'm sorry. Hey, look, we're really, really sorry." And this is the shadiest part about it. Okay, they gave us vouchers to the restaurant to go
Okay.
eat.
Yeah.
Free meals at the restaurant, and it's supposed to be a nice restaurant down there. The guy at the counter gives us the vouchers for 2 free meals at the restaurant. We go down to and I just want you to understand this is I don't know how they did this or why they did this. They gave us vouchers. We walked downstairs, and the restaurant's closed because of COVID,
Oh, Lord.
and has been closed for like months.
He just wanted you out of
And
your
I was like,
face.
"Are you serious? Did you just give me?"
He did.
Hey, so then
He
and then
gave
we
you a parting gift.
we had spent we still hadn't got a room yet.
I know.
So then we went. So then finally we get the room and we go up there and we get this big. We buy this big room with this big jacuzzi tub in the bathroom because we really wanted this jacuzzi tub. And I'm so beat. I was going to lay in this thing and relax and get to go. And I go in there and it works. And then all of a sudden it just stops working.
Oh, no.
And I was like, man, are you kidding me? And I call them and they're like, yeah, we can't fix it. And then I was like, and then I called them later on and I was like, hey, do you have a box fan? Can I get a fan? And they were like, no. And I was like, what do you mean? You don't have fans? They're like, do you want somebody to come look at your air conditioning? I was like, no, I just want a fan. And they were like, we don't have fans. And I'd be like, every other Hilton I've ever stayed at has gotten me a fan if I ask for a fan.
Right.
You tell me you don't have a box fan? And they're like,
Right.
nope. And I was like, this place is terrible. So then Anna had booked it through like one of those like third party,
Right.
like kayak or something.
Yeah.
And she goes to kayak and says, "Hey, the jacuzzi tub didn't work. We couldn't check in for like 6 hours later. Da 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 da." And they're like, "Okay, well, we want to give you a refund
Yep.
for a certain amount." So then they contact the Hilton, and the Hilton's like, "None of that happened. They're lying."
Really?
And then they like wanted to argue it with us. Yeah, it was the biggest debacle ever. And I mean, and not to mention too, we stay at the Hilton so much that we have all like these Hilton points and stuff, so they know that we go there all the time. Like, why would you piss off someone
Right.
who goes there all the time? So yeah, no, that was a debacle. So never stay at the Hilton out there
Good to
when you're fishing, because it was terrible.
Well, I can tell you this other thing before we leave. I was going to let you know. So, you know that Jack Daniels is made in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Sure.
All right. And it's considered Tennessee whiskey.
Yes.
What's funny about it, if you ever go there, it's a completely dry county. You cannot buy liquor there. The only place you can buy liquor is at the distillery, and you have to go on the tour in order to be able to drink. How crazy is that?
Did you see the show? It was a documentary about the whiskey and the guy stealing it from the factory
Yes.
and selling it.
Hell yeah.
It's been a while, and I don't remember. And I'd love to watch it again.
Yep.
That was insane.
Absolutely.
When they were taking all that, what's the Pappy Van Winkle and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that kind of stuff, and they were
Yep.
selling it for crazy money.
Oh, yeah.
And they were taking the demos off the wall of like all that antique stuff and selling it.
There's a whole. If you ever go on the tour for Buffalo Trace at Buffalo Trace, which is the oldest distillery in the country and continuously operated too. If you ever go on the tour, they tell you all about it. I've got a picture of like all their super high end stuff and how they've got cameras on. I think I showed you. I mean, how much they have the room insured for, all this other crazy stuff. But it
They
was
were saying
bad.
those employees were like making hundreds of thousands of dollars
easily,
on stuff.
easily.
And it was like a write off, because the reason it was so much money wasn't because they were selling it, because it was those raffle.
Yeah.
It was raffle alcohol. So it still sold for a cheap price, but it was worth so much on the black
Absolutely.
market side of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was crazy
Yep.
story. I remember that. Like all the cops were involved there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yep.
I'll have to look that back. I'd like to watch that again. I
I'll tell you
remember what that
another
was
good one
called.
though. I think it's not larceny. I can't remember the name of it, but it's come. I'll remember it in a little bit. But there's another one called Neat, Neat. I know you're not a big bourbon guy or bourbon fan, but the documentary is phenomenal, and it's kind of how bourbon kind of took into its own thing and everything. So kind of off topic for a hunting and fishing show, but I'll be going down there, and I'm going to stop off in Frankfurt, and I'm going to go through, pick up some bourbon, and then I'll be headed to Missouri, and you'll have a guest speaker in my place.
We will.
So that'll be cool.
We
and
should.
then we'll try to figure out how we're going to do a podcast from Kansas or Missouri while I'm out there. And I think we're going to change up our format a little bit, a different way to get it out there. So I think it'll be pretty
We'll
cool.
figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure. If not, you'll be back in a couple weeks.
Yep.
I'll sit here and just talk to myself.
That'd be cool. Or have multiple guest speakers.
I could have like 7 people panel.
That'd be cool.
Not really. 7 to way too many people.
I would agree. Could you imagine putting
So-
7 people in here at one time?
It'd be hot.
That'd be crazy.
So I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
So recap.
Yeah.
You can be the winner and owner of this wonderful set of flounder
That is heavy.
lures that weigh a lot from Weston if you do the things that Mike Tippin says to do.
Go listen to us on Spotify.
Do
Or
that.
not, on Spotify or
If you know John Seacrest, tell him he won a fishing rod.
yeah.
Not Ryan Seacrest.
John Seacrest. And not just any fishing rod of Victory.
St. Croix Victory rod.
Yep.
Estimated retail value $143,000.
Jesus.
And we will send that to the IRS. And then go to the website and buy some stuff for the store if you like the podcast, because it's in the store.
Right.
So buy some stuff. And that's about it. Take the kids fishing, do that kind of stuff.
Well, go hunting now.
Take the kids hunting.
Yeah.
And then we'll touch base. If you have any questions or want to talk about anything, shoot us a message.
Yep. And we're going to get some videos too while I'm out there. If we shoot a deer, we're going to do a cleaning video and all that stuff. So we'll get that up on YouTube.
You can skin a buck.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
Bye, everybody.
Run a trot line is the answer that you're going to do. Have a good day.
See ya.
Been listening to The Hunting Quest. No matter how crazy, high-tech, or lazy the rest of the country gets, we will always be hunting and fishing. If that's you, you've found your new family. Thanks to our sponsor, Davis Guns and Gear. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. Reach out to us by email at info@thehuntingquest.com and check us out on Instagram and YouTube at The Hunting Quest. See you next time.